My beloved child, do you feel the hush pressing on your soul as you watch this? There is a silent danger edging ever closer, an unnoticed drift that steals your first love for me without a thunderous crash. You may not hear it at first, but every small concession you make weans your heart's capacity to hear my voice. Now this moment calls for your full attention. If you ignore the faint warning I have placed in your spirit, you risk sliding into a spiritual sleep so deep you may never awaken. Yet if you listen, if you lean in and stay with me until the very end, you will discover the key to restoring that fervent closeness we once shared. Do not step away, for in the next few minutes I will reveal the hidden snare threatening your deepest joy and show you how to break free before it's too late. You are standing on a delicate threshold where one careless step might push you into a shadowy realm I never intended you to enter. This danger does not present itself through obvious external enemies. It arrives like smoke, soft, unseen, yet suffocating and ruinous. Have you sensed your heart growing heavy? Have you realized you've become so tired that your hunger has faded, that you no longer tremble in my presence? Have you welcomed a new normal, where your soul fails to mourn my absence and no longer stays watchful against the subtle forces that quietly consume your first love? This is precisely the peril I warn you about. Not a storm that roars, but a silent haze. It does not knock you down. Instead, it gradually lulls you toward a spiritual slumber. If you remain unwoven, that slumber will lead you further from me than you could ever imagine. My child, I have whispered many things into your spirit, late at night when rest would not come, or in moments when your heart stirred without any clear reason. These were not coincidences. They were the quiet cries of my spirit searching for a way to save you from straying. Sometimes I showed you glimpses of what lay ahead, a fleeting look from someone that unnerved you, an invitation that seemed harmless, a door that opened into enticing light, yet something in your heart hesitated. These were more than passing feelings. They were divine alerts. I gave you these signals, yet did you receive them? Beloved, this time the threat does not dwell outside. It emerges from a loosening within you, arising when you allow small compromises, when you step back from the discipline of faith, when you ease up on immersing yourself in my word, and when you let worldly distractions seep into the space once reserved for prayer. Every minor concession is like laying another brick, silently paving a path that leads away from my presence. Because I love you more than my own life, I cannot simply stand by as I watch you step closer to that edge. I realize it may be difficult for you to accept, but you must understand that real love cannot remain quiet while its beloved is in danger. I cannot leave you within the cozy illusion of safety you've constructed. Thus, I come not to condemn you, but to rouse you. I come not to shamefully expose you, but to redeem. I come not to disgrace you, but to restore what is most valuable, your attentiveness, your tenderness, and your longing for me with every fiber of your being. Remember, my dearest one, the days when you first came to know me. One single verse from Scripture could bring tears. A single hymn would draw you to your knees for night-long worship. Your heart unburdened by disappointment or distracted by calculation, lacking the cynicism you learned later to cope with life. You simply trusted me like a child. I want to draw you back there, not for you to remain in those early emotions forever, but to reignite that genuine flame, the fire that no threat can extinguish. Only those who kneel in repentance and surrender can keep it burning. You must be honest with yourself. Have you permitted small things to distract you from the sacred cadence of life I once shaped in you? Have you spent less time with me? Have you turned to people for comfort more than to my presence? Has exhaustion or trivial pleasure dulled the outcry of your spirit? I do not require a verbal reply. I already know the answers, but I need you to confront yourself. For only in recognizing your need for rescue will you reach out for my hand and stand once again. My dearly loved child, I do not fault you for getting swept into that invisible storm, but I cannot watch you drift away. I am placing a point of decision before you, a path that leads to revival, that brings you to my dwelling, that shelters you with healing and radiant light. But to enter, you must choose. You must let go. You must return to living by the Spirit, not out of duty, but because your soul's survival hinges on it. Reclaim that private time with me. Renew your hidden song of praise. Let heartfelt repentance wash away the numbness closing in on your spirit. I promise I will clear the mist shrouding you, peel away each layer of hardness, and give you a heart that is tender enough to hear me, feel me, and respond to me, even in silence. My child, once I lay bare the threat, it no longer remains hidden. Now, the choice rests with you. I will not compel you, yet I stand waiting. I will not chase you with punishment, but invite you with my love. Return to me before the cold fully envelops your heart. Let my warmth fill your deepest parts, that place trembling but still yearning for life. Do not wait until you lose all that is precious to learn how valuable my presence truly is. The moment is now, not tomorrow, not some future day you might deem better. It is this very minute, as you read these lines, as your spirit is stirred, as tears brim in your eyes without reason. It's because I am calling, and should you answer, I assure you the spiritual drowsiness will be broken. The flame will burn once more, and your soul will dance in authentic life. My treasured one, the adversary of your soul is neither noisy nor easily spotted. He often doesn't arrive in bold, violent onslaughts. He is more subtle, lurking in your shadows, biding his time. He rarely rushes to crush. Instead, he erodes slowly, like water dripping until it carves through even the strongest rock. He doesn't need to break you in an instant. He just needs to find a tiny fault, some tiredness you haven't resolved, a hurt left unhealed, or an emotion buried deep. Then he sows a creeping hardness within your heart. It causes me grief to say that at this time, the danger is exactly that. A spiritual dryness hardly anyone notices until it's too late. This hardness doesn't rage like a battle. Instead, it's the quietest war of all. It shows no thunder, only a muffled sigh no one hears. It weaves itself into your life through times when you tried your best but went unseen, when you forgave yet got hurt again, or when you clung to hope but saw only delays. Gradually, it nudges you inward, so you keep walking and functioning. But inside, you start building walls. And when those walls begin to rise, I, the one who's been beside you all along, am kept out. Not because I've abandoned you, but because you've chosen to seal me off. You may not even notice it, but whenever you tell yourself, it's fine, I'll manage by myself, you deny me the opportunity to intervene. Each time you choose to stay silent instead of praying, you drift another step away from rest. I remain outside that self-imposed barrier, my heart bleeding, waiting for you to let me in again. My dear child, hear me well. No wound you carry is too small for my attention, and no sorrow is so trivial it should be dismissed. I see them all, the tears you wiped away when nobody was watching, the nights you acted strong while crumbling inside. Left hidden, these things become the very building blocks the enemy uses to create a stronghold of callousness, a frigid fortress that deadens your heart to my presence. This is precisely what he seeks, a heart separated from the fountain of life. Never underestimate the danger. A hardened heart doesn't just stop you from crying, it prevents you from feeling. It doesn't only quiet your voice in my presence, it muffles your ability to hear me. Closing your heart doesn't merely lessen pain, it robs you of the possibility of receiving love and healing. You begin to question even genuine goodness. You shy away from the arms ready to comfort you. You lose the vision to tell my voice apart from the echoes of your old wounds. In time, you lose your way, not because you refuse to obey, but because your heart isn't pliable enough to follow. What I have to share is not just to instruct, but to awaken your spirit before it's too late. The trouble you face doesn't appear through glaring symptoms, but infiltrates like a toxic smoke, seeping into each breath of your spiritual existence. It's not a fleeting emotion. It's a lethal sweetness covered as self-protection, as prudence, or as discernment. In reality, it's doubt disguised and fear posing as fortitude, slowly poisoning your soul. Bit by bit, you might not even notice, but there's a growing distance inside. You no longer open up as readily as before. You keep yourself guarded, even from me. You reason that you're learning independence, never realizing you're detaching from grace itself. You scrutinize my words. You become skeptical of those I place around you. You construct invisible walls, not to safeguard against the enemy, but inadvertently imprisoning yourself within. My beloved, your pain alone doesn't grieve me as much as your waning trust. You still pray, but you no longer dare to hope. You still sing songs of praise, but they're not from your surrendered depths anymore. You say you love me, but fear taints your love. Fear of letdowns. Fear I might take too long. Fear my promises might fail. Yet, my child, I have not changed. My love for you is as ferocious and full as it was the first day I called you mine. It's your heart that has grown weary, less tender, less moved. And that is precisely the aim of this poison. To twist you into someone who's skeptical, to brand emotional softness as frailty, to paint vulnerability as unsafe, to declare trust naive. The enemy urges you to rely on harsh logic instead of gentle faith. He wants to strip you of your spiritual innocence, not unawareness, but a heart quick to believe, love, and forgive. His goal is to see you so practical that you stifle miracles, so mature that you stop depending on me daily. Yet without dependence on me, no maturity has any lasting worth. Your existence is preserved not by control, but by surrender. When you first erected walls, I sent subtle signals, faint cries, prophetic dreams, faint unrest, people who tried to reach you despite your reluctance. I made every effort to attract your notice, but you dismissed it as mere coincidence, insisting, "I'm fine." But you weren't, and I saw it all. A child within trembling in fear, craving someplace to breathe, to rest, to be fragile without judgment. That's why I came, to show you that you never need to fight this alone anymore. Because, dear child, if you keep building these walls, you won't just keep others at a distance, you will begin to silence my voice. Not that I stop speaking, but that your heart is no longer open to receive what I'm saying. Every gentle prod, each call to brave faith, gets seen through the lens of doubt. Before long, you doubt everything I've spoken to you. You start believing your dreams were illusions, that your calling is too lofty, that you lack the worthiness to be utilized. Such silent forfeiting brings delight to the enemy. My beloved, I don't blame you for sealing your heart. I know what you've faced. Unhealed hurts, betrayals so deep you vowed never again to allow such pain. Still, I know that in locking yourself away from future hurt, you also seal yourself off from being loved. I cannot watch you lose the radiant self I designed, the version of you brimming with light, faith, and unstoppable hope. So come, my child, be near me once more. You needn't pretend, you needn't maintain composure. Allow your heart to soften. Let the tears flow, expose your genuine feelings. Let honesty come forth, not for condemnation, but for healing. Then I will start removing every misplaced brick, opening your heart's capacity so I can plant hope, trust, and renewed life. Never by force, but by love. My dear one, you were never meant to carry these battles alone. I never expected you to shoulder loads that aren't yours. But every time your heart shuts down from fear, you lock yourself in the same loneliness you hope to avoid. That contradiction is what the enemy manipulates, persuading you that you're shielding yourself when you're actually breaking from life itself. In that isolation, his voice grows strong, insisting that no one cares, that I'm distant, that prayer is in vain, that your efforts serve no purpose. Refuse such lies, child. Refuse them. I want you to come back, not outwardly, but with a heart as sensitive as it once was. I don't need your facade of strength or large gestures. I just want your heart, a heart that's been wounded yet still chooses to remain open. I only need you to dare to trust again, to dare to weep in front of me, to dare to lay down your fears and exhale the burdens you've camouflaged for so long. Once you do, walls will tumble, not by your doing but by my mercy, not from your own might but from my love. No need to wait until you feel fine to return. It's precisely in your frailest hours that I yearn to step in. In the gloom you can't navigate, I want to illuminate your way. In those passages where you feel lost, I want to take your hand and say, I remain with you. Softness is no weakness. Surrender is not losing. Letting go does not mean defeat. These are marks that show you are prepared, ready for healing, ready for restoration, ready to advance not by your strength, but by my boundless grace. So listen closely, my beloved, not with physical ears, but with your heart. If something within you stirs or awakens, do not fight it. Do not lock your heart again. Let me come in, not to interrogate you, but to wipe away your tears. Not to accuse, but to hold you tight. Not to demand correction, but to rebuild you from within. In that place of restored tenderness, life will surge again. What seemed lifeless will awaken. Dreams you buried will begin to sprout. The light you doubted will shine once more. Not because circumstances changed, but because your heart has been liberated. My dearest child, don't you realize the enemy doesn't tremble at your outward form or natural gifts? He shakes because of a sacred truth deep within you. He fears you because I have opened you as a wellspring on this earth, a lamp I've lit to guide your generation's darkest hours. Within you pours an unending river, my very presence, the priceless oil I set upon you even before you knew yourself. Because of this, he avoids loud aggression, for that would send you running to me. He opts for subtlety, a quiet ambush, persisting and creeping like a steady drizzle that eventually seeps deep into the ground. He won't smash your hope outright, but erodes it by planting uncertain questions. He doesn't break your spirit, but sows doubt about your worth, about my reliability, and about the future you deem distant. Each delay you encounter, he whispers, see, God forgot you. Whenever prayers seem to linger unanswered, he suggests, it's because you're unworthy. Never is he loud, but each word pricks like a thorn, like dust coating the mirror of your soul. That's why I supply you not just with an outer light, but also an internal blaze to shine upon the recesses of your heart, the overlooked corners where he lays hidden traps. I don't only want you burning bright from mountaintops. I yearn for you to glow in the low valleys, where darkness prowls even your most minor thoughts. Understand this, my child. Feeling weary doesn't always imply weakness. Often, it indicates you are nearing a powerful breakthrough, and the enemy is pulling out all the stops to halt you. When you lose interest in spiritual matters, when praise feels forced, when prayer seems dry, when scripture loses its sweetness, do not assume it's all your fault. It's evidence of an attack in that silent arena. If he can steal away your simple joy and quiet the trust that once brought you to tears in worship, he can strangle the life I've sown within you. He doesn't have to bar heaven's gates. He only has to make you stop gazing upward. But I refuse to let you struggle alone. I have given you an incomprehensible weapon: surrender. The moment you bow in your weakness is the moment I lift you in my power. When words fail in prayer, but you can still whisper, Lord, I believe, the heavens rumble and angels strengthen you. I do not wait for your perfection before coming near. I have been with you in those inconsolable tears, and in those nights where all you could do was cry out, don't leave me. My child, never judge this war by mere appearances. Just because the earth does not quake and the sky does not thunder, does not mean there's no battle. The unseen wounds can paralyze you the most. Careless remarks from people, feelings of desertion, shelved hopes, such subtle weapons slowly starve your spiritual vitality. Yet I am igniting in you a new kind of strength, not the roaring kind, but the quiet endurance that holds on in silence. Not a loud spark that flashes and fades, but a flame nourished by inexhaustible oil. Revisit the point where you lost your simplicity. Return to that place where merely hearing my name made you tremble. Re-enter those silent, sacred hours, not to accomplish anything extraordinary, but just to be in my presence. The enemy cannot extinguish what you constantly feed. He might delay you, but he can't stop you so long as you keep coming to me. Even if your steps are unsteady, even if all you can offer is a faint mental cry. Do you understand, child? In your darkest, driest hours, I'm doing my deepest work. I do not need clamoring to perform wonders. Sometimes the mightiest miracles emerge from absolute stillness. When you think you're fleeing, I'm guiding you out of danger. When loneliness grips you, I'm pulling you closer. And when you feel entirely drained, that is exactly when I hand you a treasure more precious than any sacrifice, an honest heart. So do not permit silent erosion to dim your luminous faith. Do not let counterfeits displace the truth I've etched into your soul. Don't allow small discouragements to morph into heavy shackles. You were not created to slog through a colorless fog of confusion. You were born to stride in brilliance. And even if you stumble at times, I'm still right there, reaching to lift you, brushing away every speck of dust clinging to the garment of your soul, whispering, "You are still mine." And remember this, the light the enemy fears does not originate in you, but in me. Hence, it can never be fully put out. He may blow away what's visibly aflame, but he cannot access the hidden source where I placed an incorruptible spark. Even when that glow dims to a faint ember, it remains packed with heaven's might. As long as you let me breathe upon it, it will blaze anew, and the enemy will tremble yet again. Therefore, guard your heart, my child. Keep watch for that gradual trickle of venom. Stand alert against sugar-coated voices hiding barbed hooks. Ask me to search you daily, that I might remove anything contrary to me before the enemy takes advantage. Opt for love when closing yourself off seems simpler. Opt for trust when common sense urges retreat. Opt for surrender when pride demands you seize control. Each such decision topples him by utilizing what he'll never grasp, the power within a tender spirit. Lastly, understand that even though he attacks with quiet corrosion, I will heal you with my unwavering love. Even though he whispers doubt, I will sing hope over you. Even though he tries to slow your steps, I will propel you forward. Even though he aims to deplete you, I will overflow your cup. You are the light I have placed into this world without hesitation, and that light shall not be quenched. Not today, not tomorrow, never. I am your keeper, who does not rest or slumber. My beloved child, if you could see yourself through my eyes, your heart would break with a tenderness not rooted in pain, but in deep compassion. It's a breaking that arrives from perceiving the affectionate gaze I've always directed at you. A gaze full of mercy, patience, and awe. I don't dwell on your missteps or define you by your faults. I see you as a wondrous creation still being formed in the hands of the master artisan. Every chisel mark declares my steadfast love. If you could glimpse what I've envisioned since before you were knit in your mother's womb, if you could see the design I inscribed when I recorded your destiny on my palm, you would never again belittle yourself. You'd grasp why I could never turn my back on you, why I consistently chase after you, call you and seek you. Even as you run or doubt your own worth, I still call you by your true name, not the one people assign to you or the labels others forced upon you, but the name I carved into my heart, the chosen one, the commissioned one, the one I loved so profoundly I sacrificed my only son in your place. You may think those times you narrowly escaped harm were just lucky breaks. They weren't. I was there, standing between you and the abyss. Certain roads never opened to you, not because you were clever enough to sidestep them, but because I dismantled those traps ahead of you. Some relationships ended, not to rob you of joy, but so I could guard you from invisible wounds. Whenever you cried out to me in desperation, you never realized the heavens stirred. You didn't see the fierce battles I fought just to peck a single tearful petition from your lips. But I saw, and I have never ceased defending you. I branded you, not with ink, but with pristine, priceless blood. Blood worth more than anything in existence. I don't give that gift to those I do not love completely. So remember, you are not owned by fear, by failure, by your past, or by the destructive labels that once chained you with shame. You are mine. Nobody, no influence, no condemnation can dismantle that truth. So I come to you today, not in fury, but with a holy yearning aflame in me. My child, hear me with urgency. Do not allow your heart to stiffen under hidden hurts. Do not allow repeated disappointments to suffocate the faith you once held. Do not allow even the tiniest bit of doubt to sprout in the soil where I want to plant new life. Not understanding something does not mean I'm not working. Not yet seeing results does not imply I have forgotten. I deeply desire a sensitive heart, a space I can enter without knocking, a place in the core of your being where I can address every wound, every failure, every broken aspiration. My aim is not to accuse, but to mend. Yet I cannot mend what you won't let me tend. I can't pour soothing balm where your fists remain clenched with bitterness. Open up, my beloved. Let me penetrate the drought. Let me send gentle rain upon places you thought were beyond hope. Don't suppose I demand perfection. I never meant to tie you down with burdens. I came to walk by your side. I don't need you to stay strong all the time, only to be truthful. I don't require you always to be prepared, just willing. I demonstrate my might in your frailty. I give liberty through your honesty, and I can sow unthinkable things into your softness. Do not let falsehoods obscure your sight. The adversary has tried to plant in you the lie that I am distant, that I am silent, that I love you only when you meet my standards. The reality is, I love you even in your worst moments. I love you in your struggles, in your sorrow, even when you shove me away. My love doesn't shift along with your emotions or circumstances. My love is as steadfast as I am, constant, eternal, and forever reaching out to you when the world has abandoned you. So allow your heart to become tender once again. Let the tears flow if necessary. Speak openly if your soul needs to unburden itself. Fall at my feet if you lack strength to remain standing, but do not shut me out. Do not play at being strong. Take off the mask. I know you better than you do yourself. I see the secrets you've never whispered. Still, I choose you. Still, I want you. Still, I call you my beloved. An awakening nears. A surge of healing stands ready to flood your spirit. Yet it will only come if you're prepared to peel back the layers built to shield yourself. It will only come if you let my light shine on parts you have barricaded. Once that occurs, healing won't stop with you. You will become a conduit of my healing. Through you, I will reach those dying in muted despair. But first, let me do this profound work in you, my precious child. Let me guide you further into restoration, not just superficial mending, but a renewal that goes down to your soul's roots. To walk in genuine freedom, you must unlock that door you've kept bolted for so long, not by your might, but by inviting me to walk through it with you. Do you realize what that door is? It is forgiveness. I know how hard it is. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting or justifying the actions that wounded you. It isn't pretending you weren't hurt. Forgiveness is a sacred and deeply spiritual act. It's when you offer me your hurts, letting me judge rightly, heal entirely, and rebuild what you thought was forever broken. Forgiveness is the refusal to let your history imprison your present. It's saying, I can't carry this anymore. Lord, it's yours. I witnessed each silent tear you shed for injuries inflicted by others. I watched you battle through nights torn between compassion and resentment. I'm aware some memories cut so deep that a glance or a certain word can rip them open again. Yet I don't want you stuck in a repeating cycle, reliving the past day after day. I want you free. I want your steps light and your existence unburdened. Such freedom is found only by letting go. Forgive them, not because they've earned it, but because you deserve a life unchained. Forgive those who destroyed your trust in humanity, the one who vanished when you needed someone most, the one whose remarks fractured your heart. They may never fully grasp your pain, but I do. I alone can seal every fissure if you let me do it through that doorway of forgiveness. But child, don't stop there. Go further. Forgive yourself as well. I recognize that the hardest person for you to pardon is often you. All the past failures, choices you wish you could retract, times you acted against the truth, they echo like verdicts that were never officially read. But I don't regard you as a failure. I see you as someone being lovingly restored. I do not assess you by yesterday's sin, but by the mercy I renew each dawn. If I, the Holy One, have absolved you, why do you keep shackling yourself with shame? Set yourself free, my beloved. Let me hold you like a father welcoming a child home from a long journey. I'm not interested in justifications, only your return. If, in the recesses of your spirit, you hold anger toward me for things that didn't turn out as you hoped, answers to prayer that never came, heartbreaks lacking explanation, bring those grievances to light as well. Not because I'm guilty, but because we must heal even those rifts. I want to tear down every barrier of misunderstanding, every chasm born of grief, every silent distance rooted in uncertainty. Speak to me about your disappointments, dear one. Don't conceal anything. I'm not wounded by your anger or your doubts. I'm only saddened when you withhold your voice and walk away. So speak your heart, weep, rage if you have to. Then let me heal that hurt with a love that remains. Forgiveness does not blow in like a gentle breeze. It rolls in like a mighty river, deep, steady, unstoppable. It doesn't hurry, yet it never fails. As soon as you allow it to wash through you, it removes debris accumulated over time, shards of spite, seeds of bitterness, haunting recollections. They all begin to drift away. Forgiveness is heavenly water. Wherever it flows, life bursts forth, robust, plentiful life. The life of someone liberated from hidden chains. Where that life abounds, my spirit dwells richly. I won't only visit you, I will settle in, guide, revitalize, resurrect every withered thing. I'll reclaim what was stolen. I'll rejuvenate you like a lush garden after drought, every branch radiant and fragrant with the perfume of forgiveness. My child, there are realms of the Spirit inaccessible to you until you learn to forgive. There are truths locked away until your heart's door swings open. But once you let that river surge, you'll realize an apology is not needed to be free, nor must all circumstances be fixed for you to live fully. I am your completion, not the world, not other people. The moment that freedom pours in, you will rise. You'll be free from others' judgments, from the manipulations of past memories, from needing to prove your worth. You will travel lightly, not because you avoid difficulties, but because your heart's burdens have been lifted. You will sense my voice more clearly, love others more wholeheartedly, and each day will brim with a joy that is not reliant on external factors, but emerges from the well inside, where I dwell as an eternal fountain. Let me start now, right where you are, without adjusting a single thing. Simply say, Lord, I choose to be free. I choose to forgive. I will take it from there. I will come in, dry your tears, shatter your chains, and restore what's been destroyed. In the exact spot where pain resided, I will cause life to gush forth. Life that is abundant, luminous, and everlasting. My precious child, I perceive the depth of your exhaustion. Not merely a tired body, but a soul-level fatigue, so profound that ordinary words cannot capture it. A silent burden invisible to others, but pressing on your every breath, every restless night, every unspoken sob. You were never created to shoulder the world's weight. I never intended you to wrestle all alone with pain, to hold a heart breaking at the seams, or to fake strength when everything within you feels hollow. Once, you believed the only protection was to lock your heart away, to let no one come too close so no one could wound you. You assumed if you kept silent, no one could ridicule you, and if you wore a strong mask long enough, people would accept your facade. Yet, child, I did not call you to live like that. Your heart was designed to beat with love, to sense my nearness, to pulse with truth and vitality. You were never meant to be a fortress of cold stone, but a temple for my spirit, a fount of love, a sanctuary perpetually hosting my presence. To fulfill that purpose, you must return to the source, where my love first ignited inside you. Like a tree anchoring in rich soil, I invite you to root yourself in my love, not the shallow brand you see in the world, but the unwavering kind that stays even as you evolve, that does not recede in your failings, that never forsakes you in your vulnerability, that will never turn away when you weep. That love will be your bastion, no hard rampart, but a barrier of living fire, blazing with my spirit's unstoppable power. Oh, my child, give up trying to keep everything intact on your own. You cannot carry all of this and still hope to soar. Even eagles cannot ascend if they're weighed down by invisible burdens. You were born to rise, yet only when you let me guide you and fill you with fresh strength. You were summoned to run and not grow weary, to walk and not faint, but only if you walk in me and with me. Attaining this liberation is less about trying harder and more about surrendering deeper. You've often believed yielding was a sign of defeat, but in my eyes, it's the purest courage. Surrender isn't giving up. It's your decision to stop, lay your load in my hands, and acknowledge that I, who am mightier, walk at your side. When you come to me, offering both tears and hopes, both triumphs and tragedies, placing it all before me, that is where wonders begin. There, I exchange ashes for splendor, mourning for praise, heaviness for garments of joy. My precious one, I do not expect you to show up perfect, nor do I desire a persona of strength. I'm after the real you, the one sporting scars and secrets, with insomnia and unvoiced prayers. There's no need to conceal anything from me. I have witnessed it all and still wait for you to return. Surrender is not a single event, but a lifestyle. It's each morning awakening with, Lord, I'm unsure what awaits today, but I choose trust. It's each night's reflection. No matter what happened, my heart remains yours. It's every decision in which you invite me to direct your words, your emotions, your choices. Once you begin living a surrendered life, the weight eases. Not because your situation radically changes, but because you'll see through my perspective. What once terrified you is minimized under my sovereignty. Wounds that felt final lose their sting beneath my love. When you surrender, you do not stumble alone in the dark. You walk with me, and with me, impossibilities become possible. Understand this, beloved. One of the moments I love you most is when you are drained, yet choose to lift your gaze toward me. When your energies are spent, yet your lips form the faint, help me. When you sense you have nothing left to offer, yet you still open your soul and say, here I am, with all my lack and longing. In such instance, heaven pauses, listening in awe. Angels stop to witness, for there, in your weary heart, surrender has blossomed, and that is precisely where my power is most profoundly unleashed. I know you've had to be strong for so long, but today, I'm not asking for greater strength from you. I'm urging you to be softer, not so you'll be vanquished, but so I can lift you. Not so you'll lose command, but so I can steer your life. Surrender is the passageway to genuine emancipation. Surrender is where life overflows, and the key that unlocks every gift I set aside for you eons ago. I'm guiding you toward true rest, not the flimsy kind the world brags about, but the deeply rooted rest found in my arms. A rest where your tranquility isn't based on calm weather, but on the unshakable reality of who shares the boat with you. A rest where even if storms rage, you can breathe with ease because you know I reign over the wind and the sea. You don't have to wait for every hardship to vanish to taste peace. Real peace isn't the product of outward conditions, but the unbreakable trust in the one you rely on. The refuge I extend is where you no longer fight for control or prove your worth. You no longer deplete yourself just to earn your place before me. You need only be present, just arrive. Release the fight, my cherished one. In that refuge, your vision shifts. Your troubles may remain, but you rise above them. You no longer see everything through the eyes of anxiety, but with the lens of trust. You will stand assured, not out of vanity, but because you recognize whose hand you hold. You won't panic at the enemy's roar, since the Almighty marches beside you. You won't quake at sudden aggressions, because you stand shielded by faith, covered in Christ's sacrifice, and encircled by unwavering love. Child, no weapon forged against you will succeed. I did not say weapons wouldn't be formed or battles wouldn't erupt, but they cannot succeed. The devil may roar, but he can't claim your soul if you dwell in me. He may weave cunning plans, but he can't wreck your destiny, which my love has sealed. Standing in me, no force and no turn of events can shake the ground beneath you. Here's another marvelous truth. Even in moments of utter loneliness, when nobody gets you, when no person is there to comfort, when a caring voice is nowhere in sight, you are not truly alone. Don't let emotions trick you. Feelings aren't always facts. The truth is that I'm there, right by your side. My Holy Spirit isn't just close, He resides in you. He's your breath, your life, that subtle nudge pointing each step. My angels, those luminous guardians of heaven, encamp around you, not as mere symbols, but as fierce realities. When you tread through dangers, they escort you. While you sleep, they stand watch. When you pray, they move on your behalf. Never suppose your prayers vanish into emptiness. Each whispered plea stirs the realm of heaven. I don't merely hear them, I respond. I don't simply know, I intervene. And as for my love, oh, my love is nothing like you've ever encountered. It doesn't shift with your moods. It doesn't arrive when you behave and leave when you mess up. It's a constant armor enfolding you, a steadfast safeguard in your darkest nights. When you can't believe in yourself, my love believes in you. When you withdraw, my love still follows. When you collapse, my love doesn't stomp you further down. It stoops to lift you, wiping the dust of defeat away, gently reminding you are still mine. My hand, the same one that set the cosmos spinning, that breathed the stars into place, that shaped the universe itself, is the hand gripping you, not from a distance, but with intimacy. I understand when you need a gentle touch, and I know when you require a mighty arm. I am both the gentle healer and the sovereign defender. I will never release you. Not a single one of your sobs is missed. Not one tear escapes my notice. My voice resonates in the stillness when you stare blankly, certain no one could fathom your pain. But it's exactly then that I'm whispering, not through fire or thunder, but with a delicate breath caressing your soul, reminding you, I am here. Not a distant deity, but your Father, the one who cherishes your soul more deeply than any other, who refuses to abandon, who continues to believe, who perceives a radiant calling inside you when the world sees only burden. My beloved, do not think my power is merely a grand idea from books or sermons that evaporates at the church doors. No, my child, my power is tangible, vital, and it is actively supporting you right now. Even at this instant, as these words echo within you, I see that you once presumed my power was reserved for lofty miracles, dividing seas, granting sight to the blind, raising the dead. And yes, I do those mighty works. Yet my power is not restricted to huge, dramatic acts. It also resides in the smallest moments. Each weary sigh, every nighttime tear sinking into your pillow, every jolt from your troubled dreams, every morning you muster the strength to stand even when you feel you can't. In these unacknowledged moments, ones nobody else applauds, understands, or even notices, I am steadily at work, not typically through roaring displays, but through the calm that sustains you, not by brilliant spectacle, but by a silent current propping you up. When you're too frail, feeling no might left to push back temptation, or when your mind churns with deceitful voices telling you you'll never be enough, it is precisely then that my power quietly rises. Like an underground river, constant and unstoppable. I don't await your strength to respond. I come into your vulnerability, ensuring that your weakness reveals my power most vividly. Nor do I delay my arrival until you've already triumphed. I am there the instant your knees begin to buckle. There's no need for you to save yourself. That's my role. No need to strive for worthiness. I poured my love upon you while you were unworthy. I'm not taken aback or disenchanted by anything about you. No moment has ever made me rethink my love for you. Consequently, I never withdraw my power. It waits only for you to open your heart and accept it. Yes, my child, sometimes it feels as if you're drowning, not in water, but in a flood of tangled emotions, nagging self-accusations or haunting memories. Yet at the core of that sea, my hand extends toward you, not to see how hard you can fight, but to raise you up, to set your feet upon the waves so we can walk together. My power is displayed not only when storms vanish. Sometimes I allow the storm to rage, but enable you to walk through it unbroken. When you do so at my side, you'll be transformed from who you were. You'll marvel at how, in those times your flesh screamed, "God is absent," I was actually nearer than ever. And it is exactly in those points of utter emptiness, carrying only a tired heart and a doubtful mind, that my power fully manifests. In those moments, no other resource can achieve what is needed. Nobody but me can offer you that incomprehensible peace, sustain you when your own resolve is gone, and give you fresh resolve to go on. You might imagine that my power is foreign, an otherworldly spectacle available to a spiritual elite. But I want you to see it's the same power that kept your heart beating through dark seasons, better left unspoken. That same power helped you extend forgiveness when everything inside you screamed for revenge. It kept a small smile on your face with no logical reason, helped you face the mirror without revulsion, able to see a being gradually molded into my likeness. I am carrying out miracles within you every day, not through fireworks, but through relentless perseverance. Each time you dare to rise, even by an inch, each time you choose trust over terror, each time you opt for silence rather than anger, for prayer rather than surrender. These are miracles. Don't underestimate them. Don't think the supernatural is for someone else while you remain ordinary. You already live in the supernatural. It's just veiled in everyday routines. And once your eyes open as mine are, you'll realize there is nothing that cannot be touched by my power. No wound too deep, no defeat too grim, no stain too set for me to renew. My power is not only for repair, but for recreation. Not merely so you can endure, but so you can truly flourish. Not merely to keep you alive, but to make you shine. You are not a bystander to my work. You are the stage upon which I want to perform it. I'll show the world I am still active, still loving, still moving through your resilience amid sorrow, your tenacity under pressure, your anthems of praise in the blackest midnight. These acts terrify the enemy, elicit rejoicing in heaven, and fill me with pride. My beloved, do not wait for a more convenient season to invite my power in. This very moment, in your bewilderment, your frailty, your longing, I am poised. And my power never arrives alone. It carries healing, renewal, rebirth. All I ask is that you say, "Lord, I cannot, but I trust you can." Then heaven will part, light will erupt, and you'll comprehend that my power isn't a fable, but a concrete reality that belongs to you now. I see the covert battles in your heart, those no one else imagines, that no one else can grasp, let alone fight for you. I know the days you still smile, accomplish your tasks, and move about seemingly well, even as your inner being wrestles with nameless storms. Moments arise when you feel like a wounded soldier, forced to keep marching, gripping a sword in trembling hands, tears fogging your vision, heart pounding in secret terror. Dark thoughts fly at you like poisonous darts, silently attacking the peace within. They materialize when you're alone, exhausted, lying in bed but finding no solace. They murmur, "You'll fail, you're not enough, there's no point." And slowly, they sap your spiritual vigor, like ceaseless waves grinding away stone. I know your emotional tempests too, How in 1 hour your soul brims with love for me, only for fear, temptation, or uncertainty to lure you the next. You wonder why you're so quickly unsettled. But I do not judge you. None of this astounds me. I comprehend that turmoil in your heart only proves that a very real war is being waged. I want you to remember, you are never alone. I did not put you on this battlefield for you to struggle without aid. Anytime you pray, whether weakly or fervently, you're not evading the fight, but stepping squarely into it with heaven's army on your side. You call upon heaven's might to subdue the inward chaos. That is anything but weakness. It's the fiercest counterstrike. The enemy doesn't shudder because you roar. He trembles when you pray in near-silent faith, not because you're powerful, but because you invoke the one who is truly strong. Lifting your eyes and crying, "God help," does not leave me idle. I step forward with authority, encircling you like a protective fortress, entering your skirmish with the command of the ultimate general. I don't show up to blame you for being hurt. I arrive to heal and arm you anew. I don't wait until you're victorious to show you love. I love you here, even as you stumble and bleed, anxiously wondering how you'll overcome. When your soul seems hollow, your worship stagnates, and your prayers are only broken whispers, do not think you're failing. That, in my view, is real faith. You still come. You still choose to speak with me instead of stifling your pain. Each time you approach me with a broken heart, all of heaven celebrates. Each time your trembling hands rise to me, I pour courage into your being. Every moment you select prayer over capitulation, the enemy is driven back. Though you can't witness it with your physical eyes, the spiritual realm is aflame with battle around you. And the great news, you do not fight alone. Armies of angels stand around you, swords raised, faith shields held high, ensuring no weapon can strike unnoticed. My presence shields you not like a faint vapor, but like solid armor, defending you from every fiery dart of evil. Each time you pray, even if it's only a whisper, it resonates like a command that galvanizes the forces of heaven. And more than merely safeguarding you, I build you up internally. I plant courage within you. Courage not forged by human will, but by the unwavering truth that I stand with you. I contend for you, and I never lose. You shall no longer face each day with terror. You will proceed in certainty, not because you have all answers, but because you hold hands with the one who does. My beloved, recall that every tear you've shed in prayer becomes a seed in the soil of triumph. Each time you forgive, instead of letting hatred fester, each time you trust instead of doubting, each time you trudge on when you would rather surrender, you deliver a blow to the adversary's intentions. Ultimately, you'll look back and perceive it was these quiet struggles that shaped you, matured you, taught you to heed my voice, and enabled you to help others climb out of despair. My child, your conflict isn't done yet. Foggy days loom, yet I vow never to desert you. I'll keep preparing your soul to stand. I'll keep warring by your side until all darkness recedes. You aren't supposed to micromanage every outcome. Just stay still and realize I am God, and I'm orchestrating everything, seen and unseen. So remain steadfast in prayer, even when your voice falters. Continue believing, even in soul weariness. Keep coming to me, even when questions fill your mind. It's in these small, hidden choices that vast power is ignited. Day by day, breath by breath, victory is woven into your story. And one dawn, you'll see yourself on that battlefield, no longer a quivering recruit, but a trained, radiant, authoritative child I have prepared, shining with a flame no darkness can quench. My precious one, the nearer you stay to me, the more you are transformed, not by oppressive effort, but by the powerful intimacy of your heart and mine. In the same way grass doesn't strain to be green, but simply basks in the sun and draws water from the earth, so you needn't labor in your flesh to improve. Just remain near me, and my presence will accomplish it. Deep within, I am remodeling you, softening your hardened parts, easing what is inflamed, making new what has grown old, each day, bit by bit. Anytime you open your heart, anytime you're genuine with me, even if that honesty is a silent moan, I enter, not briefly like a passerby, but as king in that chamber of your being. Wherever I step, I never leave things as they were. I offer not mere comfort, but a peace beyond logic, a tranquility not dictated by external factors, unshaken by raw emotions, unaffected by people's shifting opinions, invulnerable to the enemy's theft. Born from that peace, wonders unfold. True power reveals itself, not for performance or to feign spirituality, but formed right where you've endured trials. It's the power to rise where you once fell, the might to refuse old chains that have bound you for years, the capacity to see your past road and say, "The Lord rescued me." Here is freedom incarnate, not just discarding the old, but living each day unburdened, no longer gripped by compulsions or haunted by recurrent accusations. It is might that conquers fear, not because you feel no worry, but because my love floods you so fully that fear must flee. When you truly know I am always with you, you won't scramble to find security in external things. You'll carry that peace like a river in ceaseless flow. By this same power, you will also manage to forgive. You'll release those who've inflicted pain, not to justify them, but because you refuse to harbor resentment. You'll forgive memories that keep resurfacing because I'm rewriting your story. This forgiveness is not weakness. It's an unmistakable sign that I'm alive in you, working mightily. And from forgiveness, you'll gain the capacity to love anew and again, not by some forced human effort, but by a love that streams from me, a love bigger than feelings or grudges, a love that sees hope in brokenness and welcomes people, though you're still healing yourself. This love is not drawn from you, it's mine, poured into you, then extended to those I want to reach. Then you'll discover the boldness to speak truth, not harshly but draped in grace, no longer concealing your wounds, your feelings, or the emerging light within you. You will walk as one carrying fire, not a devouring flame but a warming one, the fire of genuine honesty and liberation, forging words that emancipate the imprisoned. And when adversity returns, as it does for those traveling this righteous road, you will not cave in. For now, a foundation stands beneath you, no longer reliant on fickle emotions or others' praise, but on an endurance birthed by the Holy Spirit, on a resilience not born of stubbornness but shaped by faith tested over time, on a perseverance I've gradually established in you through the moments you lingered in my presence. My beloved, many people don't realize that sometimes it's in the absence of big outward signs that you become most conformed to my likeness. It's in the days when everything appears stagnant that I refine your soul's hidden corners. It's in the plain, steady rhythms of life that I cultivate an unwavering power in you, not loud, but immovable. You needn't wait until you feel overtly spiritual to be used by me. Even now, I use you in the ordinary tasks, in the tender words you share, in the compassion you show unobserved, in the mornings you decide to offer a prayer instead of complaining. Every time you decide to keep going rather than give up, I see it as a mighty triumph. It demonstrates my power at work, a quiet but powerful river that never dries up. Eventually, you'll look over your shoulder and realize you've changed. Not just by grand crises, but by an accumulation of subtle, hidden transformations. You'll say, I'm not who I used to be. The fears that once immobilized me no longer bind me. You'll note that the voices that used to demolish your confidence have lost all strength. This is because my power has penetrated every unlit corner, making you shine like dawn. So stay in me, my child. Keep your heart open. Let me keep working moment by moment, day by day. Don't hurry. My eternal artistry isn't rushed. Trust that I never abandon the work I start. One day you will not simply be someone who bears scars, but one who bears power. No longer just a soul needing mending, but one who also carries healing. No longer just searching for peace, but radiating it to others. My beloved child, each day within your soul a battle is waged. Never forget that I have given you the power to decide its outcome. I haven't placed you in combat to be passive or defeated. I equipped you with divine strength and heaven's weaponry. I also gave you faith, an exquisitely sharp sword, tempered in the fires of adversity, able to slash through darkness, uproot and repel every onslaught against you. This faith isn't some pretty idea mentioned in passing prayers. It is living, breathing action. Faith is that choice to stand again after falling. Faith is believing in my goodness despite your surroundings crumbling. Faith is training your eyes on me rather than your fears. Each decision to trust is a sword blow in the spirit realm. And let me tell you, no weapon turned against you can endure when you raise that sword with a heart surrendered and faithful. But my child, not every strike originates outside. The most frequent and lethal attacks come from your own thoughts, which arrive like deceitful whispers saying, "You will fail," or "God is no longer there. If He cared, why is all this happening?" These are the stealth arrows, not shouted, but seeping in, targeting your fatigue, your innocence, and unhealed corners of your heart. Hence, guard your heart diligently. Don't let negativity or doubt nestle in your mind. You can't stop them from knocking, but you can refuse to open the door. Don't grant them a dwelling place. Counter with my truth. Learn to pause and ask, is this the voice of the one who loves me? If the answer is no, cast it out. Let my word be your shield, your sword, the light that reveals what hides in darkness. Child, your heart wasn't formed to bear doubt. It was crafted to hold life. It wasn't made to store fear, but to shelter peace. It wasn't made to keep lies, but to be the temple of the Holy Spirit, who is truth, who is alive, who brims with power. When you truly welcome Him, fully and not halfway, He will do more than console. He will guide. He won't appear for a short visit. He will reside. With the Spirit brimming in your heart, you'll discover a new kind of victory. Not fueled by trying harder, but by yielding more completely. You'll move without stumbling. You'll look upon the same fears that once trapped you with fresh eyes, the eyes of one no longer alone. Yes, you might hear the same judgments, but they won't topple you because a mightier voice has risen in you, calm, gentle, unyielding. It's your Heavenly Father's voice, daily affirming, "You belong to me. I chose you. You're not forsaken. You are a conqueror." This triumph isn't an abrupt, massive win, but the culmination of countless small decisions. Turning to prayer instead of venting, choosing mercy over bitterness, holding on to my promises over worldly opinions, picking silence over anger, and authenticity over pretense. Such little acts inflict colossal damage to the adversary's plot. Each one transforms you. You aren't just learning survival, you're discovering genuine victory. When my Spirit seizes your heart, you realize power isn't outside you anymore. It springs within as a rushing current. You won't need reminders that you're loved because you'll feel it continuously. You won't seek validation for your worth because you'll be rooted in the truth that I paid with my life to redeem you. From that certainty, you gain the capacity to reach others, not out of need but from overflowing abundance. Not to receive, but simply to give from fullness. My beloved child, the victory I bequeath isn't illusionary. It's not only the final trophy at the journey's end, it's something you can live daily. You achieve victory when you pick joy despite sorrow. You achieve victory when you press on despite adversity. You achieve victory when you lift your head, not because of ego, but because you recognize to whom you belong. You embody victory as someone who understands, my Lord never loses, therefore neither shall I. So keep progressing, warrior of mine. Don't dread the enemy's roars. Don't let swinging emotions unsteady you. Know this, you are secured not by passing feelings, but by my covenant. Not by your fervor, but by grace. Not by your own force, but by the one dwelling in you. That one is I, who began this marvelous work and will continue it until it's complete. You might stumble, but you will not be vanquished. You might be fatigued, but you will not be annihilated. You might wrestle with questions, but I remain steadfast. Continue honing faith's sword. Continue safeguarding your heart. Continue walking as someone aware that the King of Kings walks beside them. My beloved, hush your heart and listen closely to this final truth. The blessings I have stored for you aren't measured in wealth or fleeting comforts. They don't align with the world's concept of prosperity. Authentic blessings don't always come in bright packages. They aren't necessarily dramatic peaks of triumph. Often, they appear in subtle valleys where reliance is formed, faith is purified by tears, and hope is kept alive by trust. I don't just hand you what you wish for. I provide what nurtures your soul, shapes your heart, and moves you closer to my likeness. Genuine blessings start within, immovable peace that chaos can't remove, a deep joy unaffected by the swirl around you, a softness able to embrace the simplest beauties, like early sunlight peeking through a curtain, a gentle word spoken by a friend, a quiet instant of sensing my presence. The world overlooks these, but to me they're markers of a soul grown mature. A spirit aware that true worth isn't in raucous commotion, but in communion with me. My child, I'm not steering you to a final endpoint where everything concludes. Your life isn't a competition to prove yourself or to achieve status. It's an intimate unveiling. Not for you to become better, but to become closer. Closer to me. Closer to your true self. Not the one molded by heartbreak or others' dictates, but the self I outlined before creation. On this path, each faith-filled step leads you back to who you really are, forged in my boundless love, birthed of grace, called by my voice. Don't delay your rejoicing until you cross some grand finish line. You weren't meant to chase a distant goal. You were designed to encounter me right now, every day. I made your life not as a list of tasks, but as a continuous immersion in my presence. Each dawn is a new invitation to meet me in the everyday, in the gentle morning air, in the hush after prayer, in that moment you realize how small you feel, yet how fully you're loved. If you walk in my love, every moment is sacred. When you dwell in my nearness, even the tiniest act bears eternal significance. When you begin to live in this manner, not driven by anxiety to be someone, but by the tranquil rhythm of belonging to me, my light will shine effortlessly through you. You won't have to strain to glorify God. By staying in me, light beams forth on its own, through your words, through your love, through how you remain steadfast under trials. People may see you, and they might not catch a sermon, yet they will sense me in your life. Not because you're flawless, but because you're genuine, and I occupy what is genuine, that sacred authenticity clothed in mercy, day by day growing in grace. My child, each faithful step is not just progress to a better place, it's a step closer to my heart. Don't confine my guidance to spectacular miracles. Sometimes faith is as simple as choosing stillness and trusting I'm at work. Sometimes it's the smile you find during hardship, the worship you muster when no answers have appeared, the stable soul you embody when all you can cling to is the quiet sense that I am near. The life I've destined for you is not devoid of adversity, but is one where I'm present in each trial, a life where real peace isn't paid for with striving, but entered into like a shelter. And that shelter isn't a physical locale, it's a posture of the soul. A deep-rooted awareness that regardless of how events unfold, I remain your father, and I have never missed something that truly matters in your life. I want you to slow down, not to hide, but to notice that I walk right beside you. In the thick of your rushing day, if you breathe out a fragile, "Lord, I still need you," all of heaven leans in. You needn't finish the race to be adored. Halfway through the journey, I already love you completely. Don't undervalue the holiness of daily faithfulness. Don't ignore the worth of a willing heart. You may not see it yet, but each small prayer, each act of kindness, each instant you opt for faith over fear, these form your greater story. A story I continue to write, and I never leave a tale incomplete. The life I consecrated for you isn't just about living, it's about being fulfilled with purpose. You won't only walk, you'll walk in light. You won't just exist, you'll carry and dispense my presence. On this journey, you'll realize the coincidences were carefully placed tasks, and the darkness you dreaded was the setting I chose for your light to shine brightest. Now let me hear your honest prayer. Pray something like this. Lord, my beloved God, I tremble as I realize how near I am to an invisible peril, not an assault that roars, but one slipping in quietly like a freezing wind. Awaken the core of my heart. Ignite every place dulled by pain or disappointment. Break through the thick shell around my heart. Don't let me fade into this cold silence. Don't allow me to mask my pain with forced strength. Touch my heart and make it beat again in sync with your love. I release my pride, my resentments, and hidden accusations. I need to be softened, to cry, to yield. Only a tender heart can truly encounter you. Do not let me go on another day without hearing your voice. God, I approach you with fear but also with hope. I now see how the enemy subtly sowed lies in me, lies that insisted I couldn't trust anyone, not even you. Today, I refuse those voices. I declare the truth. You never abandoned me. You never disregarded my tears. I am not forsaken, worthless, or beyond love. You've called me by name. Break every mental fortress built from fear. Tear down the doubt I've used as a wall. Grant me discernment to distinguish your voice from the enemy's. Make my heart tender once more to your truth. Today, Lord, I enter the battle of surrender. I admit I have harbored blame, anger, and confusion, sealing my heart in darkness. In your love's presence, I plead for grace to forgive, to release those who caused me harm, and to stop punishing myself for my errors. And Lord, help me let go of any resentment I held toward you if I ever held you accountable in my grief. Pour your powerful love into me, a love that chooses freedom over bitterness. Let me drink deeply of your grace until every toxin dissolves, setting me free from the past, from regrets long buried. Lord, I've struggled on my own far too long. I've worn a cumbersome armor to keep safe from what I never could control. But no more. I lay it all down. I surrender. I don't want to pretend or remain strong on my own. I'm a tired child returning to the Father's embrace. No accomplishments to brag about, only surrender to offer. Teach me that in your kingdom, surrender isn't failure but the key to renewal. Heal what I've kept hidden. Enter every unlit room of my soul. Let your light fill it. No more locked doors, no more walls. I open my heart, believing you'll come in gently, not to shame me, but to cradle me. Today, I choose not to fight alone. I won't let my weakness keep me from calling your name. I finally understand that prayer is not my backup plan, but my most powerful armament. Send your angels, stir the heavens when I pray. Defeat every hushed plot, every sneaky lie. Push away the darkness that aims to swallow me. I invite you into my circumstances with your creative might. My beloved, if these words have stirred something deep within you, do not wander away empty-handed. We have only just begun to walk together through the mysteries of faith and the tender urgings of the Spirit. Join us again on this channel, where every week we return to encounter fresh encouragement, face life's silent battles, and reignite the fervor we so easily lose. Subscribe and ring the bell so you never miss a new message, a heartfelt reflection, a moment of prayer, or a gentle reminder that you are never alone. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Tell us how God is awakening your heart, what doubts you face, or how He has already begun to heal you. When you return, you will find a community ready to pray with you, to lift you up, and to walk alongside you through every whisper of hope and every valley of struggle. Come back soon. Let us journey together toward a heart awakened and a spirit restored. Amen.